Hi everyone and welcome to my art channel. Today's project is actually going to be very unique, and I might even add has a bit of a sentimental value, not only to me, but also to my mom. Because what I'm going to do in this video is to attempt to restore my mother's vintage photo album. So this album is actually from her youth. She brought it with her all the way from Ukraine. It has all the photos of her young self, her family, and her friends. By the way, that's my mom right there. That's her photo. So it's very cool, you guys. It's so interesting to see your parents in their young days. And as you can see, all the photos in here are black and white. They're vintage. I'm not sure what year all these photos were taken. I think somewhere in late 70s, because the album here is dated on this little tag right here, 1978. A while back, my mom gave me this album and asked me to see if I can fix it up a little because it's falling apart. Like falling apart. But on a closer inspection, I don't think that simply fixing it up a little is gonna help this valuable keepsake hold on for that many more years to come. And I would like this album and all these memories in here for her to last many more decades. So I want to completely restore it. Well, obviously, I will not be able to, unfortunately, keep every single element and aspect of this album. I'm gonna have to replace quite a few things. That includes the pages themselves because they're pretty worn out, and the paper feels like it's just going to fall apart if you're gonna continue touching it. So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about it. Well, excited and nervous because first of all, I have never done anything like this before, and second, I'm actually on a time crunch here because my parents are flying in to visit us all the way from South Carolina in just about a few days, and I would like to present this album to her as a surprise. So I want to get this done by then, and if my mom is going to be okay with that, I will try to film her reaction and put it in this video. But that's only if my mom will be okay with that. So yeah, wish me luck. Excuse me, that's not yours. Why are you so mean? Not friendly today. So the first thing what I'm gonna do is probably very carefully remove all the photos and set them aside. This is my mother. I am not sure how old she was in this photo, but I think maybe her late teens, early 20s. But she is so pretty, you guys. Okay, so I am purposely shaving off a little bit more of a paper just because it is better than to shave off the photo. I will trim it and clean it up later. Now that all the photos have been carefully removed and set aside, let's thoroughly inspect the cover. You want to say something? No? Okay, then move your tail, please. Thank you. The thick chipboard inside the cover has become flimsy and brittle due to natural elements and time flow exposure, so I had to take it apart and reinforce it. Fortunately, the very top part of the cover was printed on, although thin but pretty strong plastic film, so I was able to easily peel it off without any tears. Then, using a rough sand eraser, I gently scrub off all the excess paper backing because I am going to apply a cotton fabric backing for extra strength. Time to prep the pages. As much as I'd wish to, sadly, I would not be able to keep the original pages because of how brittle they've become, so this natural colored chipboard was the closest thing I could find on the market to replace them with. Also, I'm going to use this thin mulberry tissue paper to create a separation layer between each page in order to protect the photos from rubbing against each other. This is something that was actually pretty common in vintage albums such as this one, before the protective plastic photo pouches were created. The pages look all nice and neat. Now I just have to bind them. I am using a fabric bookbinding tape to secure the pages together. The cover of the album was made up of 3 thick paper pieces. The 2 top ones are still in a good condition, but these 2 I will have to replace, and I have just the perfect thing for it. Ah, the spine, the most important appendage that holds everything together. This one is in a desperate need of repair. Let's give it a new life. This next step is perhaps the most satisfying part of the project for me. I get to dress the cover of the album back into its beautiful original coat. The album is finally starting to gain its shape back. Now let's reunite the cover of the album with its pages. The album is pretty much complete. Obviously, it's not perfect because it was quite old and I did the best that I could, but it's looking great. I added a little splash of color, you know, my personal touch, just to make it more interesting. Anyway, so it looks good, it's complete, and now all there's left is to put all the photos back in. After trimming the photos, I use an acid-free glue to repair some of the damages and tears. Some of the photos were given to my mom by her friends, and they had messages written down on the back of the photo for her. So I scanned them in and printed them out, and I'm going to put them next to the photos. This is why I save my old and dulled paper cutter blades. They create the most perfect naturally frayed edge effect. And now, for the grand finale, let's put this timeless treasure back into its treasure chest.